I'm Sean James, Master Gardener and Niagara Parks graduate, and we're actually down in the Niagara region right now, not so far from the falls, and we are building a composter. And there's all sorts of exciting and fancy ways you can build composters, or you can buy them sort of pre-engineered. I like this method because it's easy and not so expensive. So we have laid out 3 foot by 3 foot squares, and we have put our T-bars in, and they're called T-bars because they are T-shaped. And we're going to pound these into the ground. We got it started so that you didn't have to sit through all of the measuring. And then we're going to wrap it in this steel mesh called hardware cloth. I don't know why they call it cloth. And that's going to get wired together, and we'll get into that in a minute. And then we're going to wrap the whole thing in bamboo to make it look pretty. So, my lovely assistant Ross is going to make sure that these go in straight. And we want to get them all sort of the same height or depth. Why don't we do this one first? This is going to get pretty noisy. So we're cutting the neighbors some slack in the work that he's doing, because we're going to make lots of noise too. So let's push that. Can you come over here and just push a little tiny bit with your foot? A little tiny bit. Oh, other way. Yeah, that's better. Looks pretty good. Now we have to make them all equal.
Exactly, yeah. So let's move over here.
Yep. So we're making progress here. We're pounding these in and we're making sure that they're nice and straight. Something I should mention is that these kind of seem to be facing outwards. They are, because this is where the holes are. There's one end that doesn't have many holes, and then there are regular holes up through the rest of it. And I want these on the outside so that I can wire the hardware cloth to these T-bars. This is our hardware cloth. This is galvanized wire mesh. I think it's 12 gauge, so that it won't rust, but we're going to be hiding it all anyway. And be careful, because the ends of these are really mind-numbingly sharp, and it seems to desperately want to scratch you. So we're going to bring this down, and we're going to put it, actually we could start here. We're going to take it to that second post in.
Okay.
And then we're going to unwind it all the way around. So basically we're just sort of making little U-shaped wires. Now this is a door, so we don't want to make it too industrial. We want to be able to open this. And we want to get that right there.
Okay.
Okay. So this goes through the hole and then around, and that's it. It's going to be nice and simple. And we're going to eventually make sure that it's on the outside, because you're going to want to be able to open it. And then we're going to put 3 of these on. One at the top, and one at the bottom, and one in the middle. We know how long these need to be now, so we can just cut them to be the right length. Put it through the hole. I'm going to give myself a little extra wiggle room here.
Yeah.
And then we just wrap it around to itself. And eventually I will get that over and
Just
sure. Twist away.
Hand in the way of the camera, but good enough for now.
And then again
Pull this forward.
on the bottom. Through the hole and around. And if you want to twist it again, like we did last summer. Sorry.
Very old song reference, everybody.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know that, that's a song reference. Lovely. So I want this to be fairly precise, so I'm just going to bend this around here. And then I'm going to get my trusty assistant to pass me the wire, because it was silly and I left it down there. We get it, our little angle there, and through here and around, and wire it like this. Now this is important. If I leave it like that, it's a safety hazard. These are sharp. So I'm going to actually take this and I'm going to bend these around and in. It doesn't have to be crazy, but I just don't want these sticking out. Okay. through, and bend.
And unlike the doors, these don't come
These ones
out.
stay solid, that's
Yeah, they
right.
stay in.
This first panel that we are just finishing now is a door.
Yeah.
So that eventually we can open this and empty it out. So the way that these work, now seems like a good time as any to talk about this. The way that these work is very informal. This is cold composting. I don't worry about the pile heating up or anything like that. And there's going to be a bin here, and a bin beside it, and a bin beside that. You fill the first bin, and when it's full, you open the door and you use a fork to turn it into the second bin. When the first bin is full again, then we open the middle door and we turn the second bin into the third bin. Open this door, close that one, and then turn the first bin into the second one. When this bin is full again, then it's ready to go onto the garden. The third one is ready to go onto the garden. Okay, and then you just rotate through it forevermore.
And time frames usually?
It varies. Really, it's when this is full.
Yeah.
Or
but is there a minimum time where I really want this through that 3 sets to have at least good?
My fastest was 3 months.
Oh, okay.
I think, and I was mulching it with the mower to do that. I also think about where I'm going to put it. I'm always looking at my soil and thinking, where does it look thirsty?
Yeah.
Where is it looking dry or cracked? And that's where I'll put the compost. So sometimes I'll accelerate the process and take it, just empty it because I need it now. The interesting thing is it's not going to look like the stuff that comes out of the bag at the shopping market. When you buy compost there, you want it to have texture to it. You want to be able to see bits in it. That way it's going to add texture to the soil, and it's still going to have the nutrients in it to give to your plants.
Variation of size is a good thing.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
This would be an awful lot easier if I picked a place that was level or made it level in the first place. Because since it isn't level, we are having to take out a bit of the extra so it will sit in there. Now that's not that bad a thing. If you were really worried about rodents and rats and such, then you would have this come out, you'd bury it about 8 inches down and have it make a right angle and come out towards you about 1 foot. And then when you had it in there, you'd put all the soil back in, and that way critters can't get into it. When they get to the edge, you go, ooh, that looks like good stuff in there. Then they dig down and they go, oh, look at that. There's a mesh down there already. Can't do anything about that, and they go away. But I'm not too worried about that. I've never had that be a problem. The big reason is that I never put anything edible in the compost. It's just greens, twigs, lawn clippings, fallen leaves that are in the way. Now we try and leave as much of that on the garden as we can. But what we put in here, just make sure that there's no edible stuff. That's what we use the municipal green bin system for. Or you can use a rolling composter for all the food stuff. And the rolling composter, you fill it with anything edible, and then when nothing would want to eat it again, when it's just muck, then you can put it in to the 3-bin composter. And I usually throw it into the middle section because it's already partly broken down. If I want to get this through, where's my little hole? There we go. If I want to get this through, it wants to go way over here. So if I pre-bend it and make it just a little rounder, then I can have it go more easily through those holes. Now it's there, and I can do my twisty thing. And my bendy anything. It's a technical term. You can cut this with tin snips, and it's both painful and painfully slow. And so I got this neat little gizmo that basically tooths through it. If I can make it work. If I get the angles right and everything, it just goes beautifully. See? So, we've got our second door going in. I'm going to bend this around very carefully. Cannot say it enough. These are mind-numbingly sharp. So I think there's something important to share with you. These middle panels should go on before you close the doors, because the middle panels are going to stay fixed. And if you put the doors nice and tight, then the panels won't go on. You can't get them in there, or you won't be able to open the door. So I'm currently taking a step back now and undoing the doors, but at least I know they work. And then I'll wrap the center panels around and then reattach the doors. So, oops, but learning and sharing. So what I've done is I've folded this over, because these are super sharp, as I keep saying, and now I'm crunching that down, so it makes it just that much safer to work with. We just closed the last door, as it were, and now I'm going to feed this maybe through here.
I don't like that one.
And back. No, that's gotta be a little tighter. There we go. And then all we have to do after this is put the screening on. I mean, you could leave it like this. It doesn't need the bamboo screening. That's just for ornament. And technically, everybody calls it bamboo screening, but it's reed screening. You could also not use the wires and use zip ties, but in some ways they're a little tougher to manipulate. It's tougher to get them to bend around corners. This is our reed mesh. This stuff doesn't last forever, but basically all we're going to do is tie it there, and it's going to go all the way around. Neat. And this just makes it look better, really. That's all there's to it. And we have 2 of these. This we don't have to do really heavy engineering. All we have to do is hang it here. So we can just put this through here. You don't need to worry about doing every little bit and piece. This is just aesthetic. And then we turn these edges in so nobody gets poked. I'm not even going to worry about these ones. I'm just going to come around. Maybe this one would be a good one to do, and then I'll do the last one. This is our last little tie here. Bend that over and over again, and it looks pretty good. It's just simple. It doesn't have to be super involved. It just has to be simple and nice. And of course, I've lost my knife. There you go. And so when you want to fill it, you just take this off as much as you need to access your bin, and I just throw this over the top when I'm filling it. And when the time comes to empty it, and when the time comes to empty it, you just open this door and fork it from here to there. And when this is full again, empty this one into that one, fill this again. By the time this is full, that stuff's ready to go on your bin.